Hey, boss. How was your day?
It was amazing.
Good, 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 good. Oh, is that Marvin? We got Marvin, Jabri, Natasha, Miss Luann, Big Devon Temple. Welcome, you guys. Miss Gilmore, Tracy, and Miss Chacon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Ishmael there. I think he's still around somewhere. Miss Natalie Para. Welcome, Brian Blinn from SoCal. We got some good people on here. All right, boss. Well, she's got a lot to cover tonight. We wanted to bring her back because last week she spoke in Cantonese Chinese. So we're going to get so she's ready to go. She's actually been able to go through it again and actually add some more things, little things here and there to maybe hopefully open it up a little bit better for people to understand. So guys, with that being said, thank everybody, Mr. Thomas, for allowing us to do this training. And for everybody who's keeping our country safe right now, and crazy things are. But I get to bring up my amazing wife, regional director, and let her go over this training that she gave last Sunday, but re-give it, and hopefully you guys can really get some stuff. If you guys were smart, you would get a pen and paper, because she's going to be throwing some stuff down that you're going to need to have on you for later. With that being said, my beautiful wife, Miss Rose.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the call. So I was asked to share this again and to slow down, and that's very difficult for me because I like to talk fast. So anyways, so I am going to share what I covered last week. I did kind of improvise or change a little bit of things as far as some of the wording, did more research as far as more scripts, maybe certain words that I found in certain books that you guys might be familiar with. Obviously, this one right here we all know about, right? GoPro. Everybody's familiar with that book, right? As well as this is a great book. It's called Exactly What to Say, The Magic Words of Influence and Impact. This is a really good book. It's a short, easy read. I would highly recommend it because there's some psychological words that will draw people to think certain things, and so we need to get really good with language. Okay, so I am going to share too. It's called a PV3, a process. Like I said before, when we actually had a team growing out of our area, we found it very difficult because obviously we couldn't go and meet with them all the time, because it was at that time it was like 2 to 3 hours, something like that. It was 5 hours, so 5 hours away. So we did go a couple times, but it was very challenging to have home events when new people came on board, to travel that much all the time. So we had to figure out a way where we could grow outside of our area. So at that time, there was a video that I believe it was Tony Kupas that also did it. It was a longer version of the 1 through 10 at that time as well. And it basically broke everything down. So all you had to do was play the CD, and then that was it, and then close, okay? So that's what we started implementing. PV3 is what we called it. Peak, video, three-way call. Okay, so we started doing that with this gal out of our area, and she started growing a team, and then it got to a point where she even moved to a different state. So, and we, again, the same process applied. So I'm going to explain what worked for us, which can also work for us today, okay? Because now the co-founders are so amazing. They provided another video where we can have, it's only 11 minutes, and it goes through the entire 1 through 10, and it does the whole presentation for you. So if anybody's out there still leery about presenting, they're nervous about saying the wrong things, or how to transition from box to box, what I would recommend is playing that over and over and over again to learn the language and how Tony Kupas does it, so you can do it yourself. But in the meantime, don't let that stop you from growing your business. In fact, I shared with what we did with somebody that had gotten started. What happened was we pulled up the wrong video, and it happened to be that longer. We were looking for the 2-minute, but we actually pulled up the 11-minute video, and we ended up playing it, and the girl got started. And it was like, after it was done, I was like, would you like most on it? Because basically he did all the work for us, right? And that was so simple. What do we promote all the time? Super easy, duplicatable business. If somebody sees this and they think it's super easy, guess what they're going to do? They're going to think they can do it. And that's what we want to do. Okay. So I'm going to go through the script with you right now. So we're going to pull that up right now. So what I would recommend is, I know they're recording this, which is great. So you can always go back. Okay. So it's called the PV3 process. So hopefully everybody can see this. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Okay, so the first part is peak. Now, understand the first thing we want to do is, it's super important. Our goal is to become, and this is also in GoPro, our goal is to make people independent of us as quickly as possible. In fact, people who know and have seen me launch, I actually say that all the time to people when I'm launching them. And that's I'm going to point it out on page 103 of GoPro. He talks about setting the expectations. The next step, he says, my job is to help you become independent from me as quickly as possible. Do you think that's a good goal? So the idea is to make people independent so they understand that, you know what, we're not going to be babying them all the time. We're not going to be able to, our goal is to create time freedom. In order to do that is make them or help them, develop them to do things independent of us, right? So that's what this allows us to do, right? So the first process is peak. The second process is the video, or now that we have Zooms, you could plug in people to the Zoom. And the third part is a three-way call. So I'm going to break that down. Step number 1, let's go into peak. Okay, so it's super simple. Follow step 1, 2, 3. So here's a script. Hey, Chris, how are you? Okay, this is obviously you want to pick up the phone because there's no tone in text message. And understand, I know a lot of people like to text and all that stuff, but again, it's very difficult. There's no voice inflections, there's no importance, there's no urgency. So again, this is why we have to pick up the phone, okay? So, hey, Chris, how are you? How's the family? How's everyone? Is everyone safe?
Yeah, everyone's good.
Okay, I added, let prospect answer and have empathy be you. I added that because I know sometimes people literally take the script thing word for word or literally, and they're literally reading it, which is good, but then they sound like they're reading it and they're skipping over what somebody's saying, or they're talking over the prospect. We don't want that. So obviously be genuine, be empathetic to them if they're talking about their situation, whether somebody lost a job or got pay cuts or whatever it is in their life, right? Okay. So then I would say, listen, I want to ask you an important question, especially with the crazy times we're living in right now. I'm not sure if this would be for you or not, but I had to ask, would you or anyone you know be open-minded to making money in addition to what you're currently doing? Okay, so if you were on the call last week, I actually changed up the word a little bit. I mean, not too much, but the reason why I changed it up was, again, I wanted to use some power words. I wanted to use some of that psychology. So if you look at, I'm not sure if, that part right here, I'm not sure if this would be for you or not, that actually is in this book. And why I put that, because I'm gonna read so you guys understand what it talks about here, which is really, really powerful. It says this, that opening a statement, I'm not sure if it's for you, causes the listener's subconscious brain to hear there's no pressure here, okay? By suggesting that they may not be interested, you naturally increase their intrigue. They wonder, what is it? And this strike in curiosity hooks them. What's more, it fires an internal driver that tells them a decision needs to be made, and the soft approach ensures this decision feels unpressured and internal. So how awesome is that? Okay, so then again, me being like very analytical and so for knowing that that's triggering something when they hear that, number one, release of pressure, but also makes them interested. And then the second part of that where it says, I'm not sure if this would be for you or not, but I had to ask, would you or anyone you know be open-minded? Again, from this book, open-minded. Let's find out what that says about people who are open-minded. It says, when the alternative is being considered, closed-minded, this perception of choice is almost guaranteed to steer others toward your idea. knowing that people like to see themselves as open-minded, okay, you can easily give yourself a fair advantage within your conversations when introducing a brand new idea to a stranger, friend, prospect, or team member, using the words, how open-minded are you, and following up that sentence with the scenario you want them to opt into allows you to naturally attract people toward the very thing that you are looking for their support with, okay? So again, this is the psychology that we're using in this invitation, okay? So again, hi, Chris, how are you? How is the family? Is everyone safe? Empathy. Find out what's going on. Obviously, now's the time to ask those type of questions, and people want to know that you care about them. Remember, people care, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, okay? So then be you and genuine in how you receive it and hear their story. Listen to them. Listen to what they say, right? But then go on to say, listen, I wanted to ask you an important question, especially with the crazy times we're living in right now. I'm not sure if this would be for you or not, but I had to ask. Would you or anyone you know be open-minded to making money in addition to what you're currently doing? Okay, so that's number one. Now, if yes, or if they say it depends, you go on. So great, Chris. Now, another keyword is using someone's name. Why? Because, and I did this the other day, I was talking to my brother and he was going on and on and on. I was trying to get his attention and I said, Tom, and he just stopped. He literally stopped saying what he was in the middle sentence, and he stopped because naturally we are programmed when we hear our name, we will stop. And so understand this is getting someone's attention. So great, Chris. I was too because, and again, because is also another keyword, but I was too because of my situation. I was a hardworking single mom at one point, you know, working 80 plus hours, time broke, and I knew I had to do something different. Now make sure your why is heartfelt. I'm sure the person you're working with has always told you about this, right? Having a heartfelt why. Now I continue. I'm working with someone who is very successful. They're looking for hardworking and motivated individuals. Now keep in mind, that statement alone already indicates to them that you're implying that they're hardworking and motivated. So that's a compliment, okay? When will you have about 20 to 30 minutes to check out some really important information, okay? Now it is so important to confirm the start date and time. So if they say, oh, tomorrow at noon, so then you would say, so if I send you a video tomorrow at about noon or so, about 12:15, you will have watched it because the video is only 11 minutes, okay? So you will have watched it. Great. I will call you right after the video, right? Now, for the Zoom, since we have all these Zooms that we have access to on a daily basis, so the language would just say, are you, instead of the video, you could say, are you available tomorrow at 1 p.m. to attend an invite-only Zoom event? Okay, so if they say, yeah, I should be, so great. So if I send you a Zoom invite tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you will watch it. Great, I will call you right after the event. Okay, so again, this is works perfectly with the fact that we have Zooms every single day of the week twice, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, okay? Now, I added this. If they have questions, that's a great question, Chris. All I know is that it deals with billion-dollar industries and has been helping a lot of people augment their income from the safety of their home. Can I send you the information, or can I put you down as a guest on this exclusive call? Okay, so again, depending on which one you decide to use, okay? Now, I know that, and I'm going to use somebody on this call. I think Miss Brittany is on the call. Miss Brittany's been in the business just a little over a month. She's an executive team leader. She did that all by herself. She has 30 customer points. You know, she's actually been reaching out to a lot of people. She actually got a customer through cold market, but she got to know him first, of course, right? So she connected with them first. And then she talked about services. So she got a customer. She also has had over 10 plus people on these, whether it was one-on-ones with us through Zoom, or the 1 or the 3 o'clocks, or yeah, the 3 p.m.s, right? So she's had people constantly coming to these events. So I told her in this case, because these are people that she's now tapping into social media, okay? And she's so great at doing that. In fact, we talked to somebody from the UK and we talked to somebody from Portugal that she had met through social media, okay? So this young lady is amazing at being able to prospect people. So I told her that this process right here about the video process would be great for her. Why? Because she's going to be pre-screening people out, because a lot of them she's actually been plugging into these the 1 or the 3, but then when they disappear, right? So I said this is great, because then what do we always talk about? From event to event to event. What would be the second exposure? The 1 or the 3 o'clock, right? Then they're going to see the credibility, right? All these people logged on to the Zoom, okay? So again, if they have questions, going back to that, that's a great question, Chris. All I know is that it deals with billion-dollar industries and has been helping a lot of people augment their income from the safety of their home. Can I send you the information, or can I put you down as a guest on this exclusive call? Okay. Now, step number 2, remember, step up here, video. Step number 2, video. And now here's the thing, don't send the link or don't send the Zoom invitation until they have confirmed the time. Okay, so if somebody says, yeah, I can, okay, so great, let me just send it. No. You want to basically get a commitment that they're going to show up to the 1 or the 3, or that they're going to commit to watch that video when you send it to it, and schedule it like an appointment. Okay, so immediately after the video or the Zoom, you call them, and all you're going to do, now this is for newer people, right? You're going to ask only 2 questions. So for example, Brittany, okay, so Brittany, all you're going to ask, and you're not going to go into Q&A, okay, you're going to stick to the script. You're going to ask 2 questions. Did the information make sense? Number 1, if they say yeah, or you know, some of it, yeah, or I'm still a little confused, well then you say go on to number 2. Are you interested in learning more? Okay, so it's a yes or no. Okay, I mean, pretty much if somebody says, well, maybe, that to me, that's a yes, because that's not a no. Okay, so then what do you do at that point? Now, here's the beautiful thing. This is how so simple it is for people who are newer. So say, for example, even if you've been in the business a while, you are able to leverage your leaders right now. Okay, so by the 3-way call, there's reasons why we're talking about a 3-way call, is because what you're going to be able to do is hear the expert, somebody who's been in the industry a lot longer, go through questions and answers. So if somebody gets on the phone that's asking all these questions about the company and the services and how does this work, obviously the new person is going to struggle with how to explain that. And that's understandable, because guess what? They're still learning. But that's where you're leveraging your efforts by being able to use your mentor with the 3-way call. So what you're going to do is edify the expert and do a 3-way call on the spot. This is all you say. Edification with excitement. Now you can change it up if you want, but I'm just keeping it super simple for everybody, okay? So I'm working with Mr. King, who is very successful. He has 100% of the information, and Mr. King is growing business, not just locally, but internationally. He is literally breaking records. I'm so lucky to be working with this individual. Let me get them on the phone so they can explain more to you. That's it. How simple is that? So guess what you do? Once you get them on the phone, introduce, hey, this is so-and-so, this is Mr. King. Mute your phone, and all you do is you listen to what they're going to say. The experts, what you're doing, you're in training. You're going to hear the questions. You're going to hear the objections, because the idea is if you try to go into a Q&A with somebody, they're going to probably win. Why? Because you're still learning the process. We want to win, and we will win if you put your prospect or your guest on the phone on a 3-way call. Okay, because our goal is to get them on another event or close them, depending if they're ready to go. Okay, but the whole idea, and this is also explained in that too, about in Go Pro, it talks about that on page 41. It talks about on page 41, I like to reference this because this is our Holy Bible, okay? Holy Bible, network marketing, Holy Bible, okay? And it talks about that is that the first thing that they have to do is such as a one-on-one or a 3-way call, phone conversation. Professionals understand that personal interaction is a critical component when it comes to building trust. Okay, especially, and I know I was talking to Miss Brittany, so she's dealing now with cold market. And I think a lot of us may be doing that now, right? Because we're not able to go meet new people, build rapport. So understand that people are gonna have to trust us first. So there's gotta be some credibility there. That's why I was saying we might have to do some like exclusive event for Brittany, where we can literally meet these people see their little pictures and talk to them. Get to know who they are, connect with them, find out about what they do so that they understand there's some credibility there, right? She's not all alone in this, and they meet us and hear our stories, right? And then also too, it talks about on page 79, again, on GoPro, it talks about this again, just to cover. I like to reference so everybody knows. It talks about the only reason is to have an exposure is to set up the next exposure. Guess what the professionals are going to be doing? We're going to be, if they have all these questions, I'm not going to be sitting there answering all the questions. What I'm going to do is maybe go through a few questions and then, are you ready to get started? No? Okay, great. You know what? Let's get you on a bigger, and then I'm going to edify Mr. Thomas. Oh my gosh, we're working with an incredible leader. This gentleman is documented. He's extremely successful. He has credibility. He has a huge organization. He knows how to do this. If anybody, oh my God, and he makes it so simple. You're going to be just like, if he can do it, I can do it. And this guy's documented. Are you serious? Okay. He's going to be explaining this business again. Let's get you on the 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? So again, I'm going to be promoting the next event. Okay. So you see the idea? It's from event to event to event. Now, keep in mind in this, it talks about on page 83, it says it takes an average of 4 to 6 exposures for the average person to join. How many of you guys gave up after the third? You know what I mean? The third try. Okay, so understand, no, it's going to take at least 4 to 6 exposures. And this is why we have to get really good at following up with people. I know I've had this conversation with Brian, because Brian, oh my gosh, he has so much exposures of people. And so my thing is, figure out a system that works for you. There's apps. There's this ABC Always Be Closing app that's really good for real estate agents. You can do little index cards. You can do like us, we're putting little stickies in 100 boxes. I don't care what you do, but the idea is don't lose people, because you lose basically, you could be losing your next senior vice president. Honestly, that's exactly what could be happening right now, okay? So let me see, and let me just share, I wanted to share too, so this is a script. I hope everybody had a chance to take a picture of it, do whatever you needed to do, screenshot. If you need it, I have no problem sending it to you. Reach out to myself or Chris and I will send you this via email for you. This is just something I've been working on too. I've been literally going on Facebook and writing all my contacts down. Okay, so I was just gonna show this real quick. So here's a video. You guys should know that. I put the link. So the co-founder, this is 11-minute presentation. Okay, and what let's see, another thing I wanted to talk about too real quick, Facebook. So what I've been doing literally today, my butt was sore because I've been sitting for so many hours doing this. I started reaching out to people on social media, literally just saying, hey, so-and-so, hope you and your family are safe during these times, and little prayer. That's all I've been doing with people. Because what I'm gonna do the following week is start reaching out, like with that script that I've been talking about, okay? But what I wanna do, because some of these people I haven't talked to in such a long time, so I wanna reconnect. Now, so this is all I've been doing. So people are reaching back out to me now, right? I started a log. So if you saw that Excel, I actually had reached out to people on services at one point in time. So what I did, and I'm putting this too, I'm documenting their address, their name, the last communication, what they wanted, all the latest info. What I'm personally gonna do, since I have their address, I'm gonna send them a thank you card just to say, hey, back on January, the beginning of January, you were looking for TV and internet. And some of these people I have reached out to again and I haven't heard anything from them. That's okay. But I'm going to set myself apart, because what makes me different than Comcast, DirecTV, AT&T, all of that? What I'm going to do, I'm going to send them basically a thank you card just to say, thank you for taking the time to reach out to me. Here's what I'm going to, and I'm going to send them, actually I don't have it printed, but in your back office, It actually has, let me see if I have it. I want you guys to see this real quick. Back office real quick. I'll just go into my husband's. Okay, so in here, I'm going to show you what I'm going to send everybody with the thank you card. Let's see, I'm going to go into business materials. Sure. No, it's right here, product materials. And I'm going to make sure, hold on, got an error message. Okay, so down here, right here, this, I'm gonna send them not just a thank you card, I'm gonna send them this. Because this is right here okay to send, because guess what? This is approved by legal. They created this. So I'm gonna put my information on here and I'm gonna send them this. But again, the thank you card is making me stand out, even though they haven't maybe responded or maybe they went to somebody else. I want them to know other services that I offer, because a lot of these people, they were asking for just maybe TV, internet, that's it. I want them to know everything else, okay? So I'm gonna set myself apart. That's what I'm working on to do right now for building my customer base as well. So I would recommend, if anybody you have talked to previous customers, that you have in your log of customers, I would go back to all those people and maybe send this to them or let them know what you offer. Because I've had people who got a service that was, I offered, but because it was new, they didn't realize. They were like, I didn't know you offered that. You know, I would have gone to you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, like you're supposed to know, but how are they supposed to know unless you tell them? Okay, so that is our job, to keep them informed of what we offer. So that's what I'm doing as well, okay? Another thing I wanted to say too with Facebook, another option you can do, and I did it with somebody, is I did a voice one, which was kind of unique. It's a little different. So what you can do is you can send a voice message. Now I'm not gonna do it on here because it sounds funky. I tried it with my husband and it sounded really funky. But there's an option on here where you can do a voice. And I know on my phone, it's a lot easier. I don't know where it's at here, but oh wait, start a voice. No, that's a voice call.
You had it.
I don't know if it's here.
Right.
Is it right here? No.
On next one.
No, I don't think it's on here. I think when you go up here, because I figured out when I did a search and I did Chris, for example, like Chris right here, I sent a voice message, I sent a voice to this girl. But I was able to do it from here and I was able to send a voice. But the easiest for me, honestly, is cell phone. So if you go into your cell phone, there's an option where it says voice, and then you start recording and then it sends it. So it kind of is unique. So like one of the girls, she's checking with her husband, who she's not interested in the business anymore, because I'm in August so far. So I'm going through all my instant messengers and I'm literally looking at all these messages I've had with people. And I literally am at August right now. I'm going to keep going. So back then she was interested in making extra money. So I reached out to her again with the message that I had. Well, guess what? She says right now she's okay. She goes, but my husband is out of work right now. Let me talk to him. I said, great. But what I did is I sent a voice message. You know, hey, so-and-so, I can't remember what her name was. I said, it was, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. So, and I did that through the voice message that you have on that. So it's just a little different, which is really cool because it's unique. It's not the same traditional text message, that type of thing, or instant messaging or whatever. So, but that's pretty much all that I have, you guys. I try to go a lot slower. And so hopefully you guys were able to take notes at your own pace because of that. So I hope, like I said, you got something. I would recommend a call of action. Call of action is to get as many, like I said, set a goal for yourself. You know, I wouldn't go so but set a goal that is going to stretch yourself a little bit more to where you are exposing people to the information, whether it's getting them on these, these Zoom calls that are daily, getting people committed, following that script, or number two, sending out videos, okay? Because like I was telling Brittany's going to be able to do this because Brittany's doing amazing right now. She's doing awesome with social media. So proud of that girl. Executive team leader. I don't know if she's on the call, but we got to give props to Miss Brittany because she hit executive team leader within like 30 days. And she's just doing incredible things right now. So with that being said, that's pretty much it. Mr. Thomas, was there anything you wanted to close out with?
No, you know what? You did just an outstanding job. Thank you so much. Can we all give Miss Rose Guerrero King a hand, please? What a great, great job. What an awesome job. Thank you so much. Hey, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, we'll be back with our regular 9 o'clock Monday through Friday. And don't forget the 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock with the four horsemen. We'll be back showing the 1 through 8 tomorrow at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And I just want to thank you, Miss Rose Guerrero King, for coming back with that information. I got a lot of notes, and I thank you so much. And folks, I'm telling you, this is some of the best training ever. And I was talking to some people about it, and they said we couldn't find it. So I'm glad we got you to come back and do it again. So thank you so much, Mr. King. Thank you so much. God bless you, Mr. Clemens. Thank you so much for doing the back office, getting everything take for us, and making sure our calls are done right, promptly, and done professionally with all this. So thank you all, and all the guests, and I mean all the IVOs. Thank you so much. And remember, take it, run with it. She said a call to action. The last thing I wrote down, a call to action. So the call to action is don't just listen, don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers of it. And that, I want to thank everybody tonight. God bless you. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Ms. Rose Guerrero King, for another outstanding job. God bless everybody. See everybody tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock a.m. here. Bye-bye.
All right.